Hi there. I know this is probably a very late upload for the NFL offensive and NFL defensive players of the week for week 3, but I know I'm supposed to put this up on Tuesday, like right after the game, so it's a little bit more time to like let votes accumulate, but I got a little busy, so I have to do it today. It's fine. Let's get started right away though and jump right into NFL offensive and NFL defensive players of the week for week 3. Last week winner, as we always are supposed to do, as we find out through the comment section, as you're supposed to leave your comment on who you think the offensive and who you think the defensive player of the week is. You don't have to agree with my picks. You can just write your own in the comment section. So there's the rules. Let's get started. My who won because of the 2 votes for him was Patrick Mahomes for the week 2 offensive player of the week. And then the rest are going to pop up. For week 2 defensive player of the week is Danny Trevathan. Sorry, I have trouble saying his name. He was the one of the people that somebody picked in the comment section, and that is how it goes. You have more vote power than I do. NFL week 1 was Brian Fitzpatrick, of course, and the week that's supposed to say week 1 defensive player is Khalil Mack. Sorry for the typo on there. Let's get moving. So right now, everyone, you see the 4 winners so far. We'll have our week 3 winners on Tuesday announced. Again, sorry this is late and kind of sloppy. My bad on it. It happens. NFL Week 3 Offensive Players of the Week. At quarterback, the nomination is Matt Ryan, who went 26 of 35 for 374 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks. He was sacked 3 times. He did not fumble the ball for a QBR of 148.1 as his team beat the New Orleans Saints in overtime, and he was a big part of that, throwing 5 touchdowns. Good job for Matt Ryan. He might be my pick, but there are other players like the running back Christian McCaffrey. Though he did not score a touchdown, he carried the ball 28 times for 184 yards for an average of 6.6 yards a carry, and as long as 45, 0 fumbles as his team beat the Cincinnati Bengals. So that is a good sign for Christian. The no touchdowns was a little bit hard to put him on the list, but it happens. And then we have, I believe, the wide receiver of uh, no, his team. Yeah, it doesn't matter with Matt Ryan. Screw him. He sucks. But then we have Calvin Ridley, his wide receiver, who had 7 receptions for 146 yards, averaged 20.9 a catch for 3 touchdowns, along with 75 and 0 fumbles. He is my personal nomination for the player of the week because of the 3 touchdowns, the 150 yards on just 7 receptions. 75-yard reception on one of those. So he's my personal pick. So Calvin Ridley will be my pick. If you disagree with my pick, let me know down in the comment section by giving me your person who you think should be the offensive player of the week is, or who you think the offensive player of the week should be. Doesn't have to be anyone on this list, but my personal pick will be Calvin Ridley for his monster game. And I think the fucking Saints won that game, or lost. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Um, we just take into account for player of the week for what they personally did. Does not matter what their team did. Doesn't really even matter what team they played for. It just matters what they did. So again, Calvin Ridley will be my personal selection for a great game. For NFL Week 3 Offensive Player of the Week. Let me know down below if you think it was someone else in the league or if it was one of the other people on this list. All right, let's go to the Week 3 NFL Defensive Players of the Week. We have player J.J. Watt for the Houston Texans, who had 4 solo tackles, 4 assisted tackles for a total of 8. He had 3 sacks and a forced fumble, no picks, no touchdowns, as his team lost to the New York Giants. But again, that's kind of irrelevant, but kind of not really, as you know, when your defense, you kind of got to make it so your team wins. And then we have Earl Thomas, whose team actually won the game, who played and showed up big in one of his, I believe this is his first game of the year. 6 assisted tackles, 1 solo tackle, and so for a total of 7 tackles, 0 sacks on the quarterback, 0 forced fumbles, but he picked the ball off 2 times, helping his team secure a W, their first win of the season, proving his importance. And then we have Darius Leonard, who almost won last week but this week he might be he's again my pick personally because no one else really did anything with he had 9 assisted tackles, 4 solo tackles. Oh, okay, I've been reading these weird. Okay, so yeah, okay, 6, 1, 7. Okay, then he had 9 solo tackles, 4 assisted tackles, and 13 total with 2 sacks. Actually, I'm gonna go with Earl Thomas as my personal selection for NFL Week 3 Defensive Player of the Week. Big game, his team won. It was just an important thing. I'm pretty sure Leonard's team actually lost, so that's a big reason, and he's the linebacker for the Colts. Earl Thomas, of course, the safety for the Seahawks. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go with Earl Thomas as my defensive player of the week, and that will pretty much wrap it up. So again, we're gonna go with Calvin Ridley for offense, and we're gonna go with Earl Thomas on defense for their monster games and contributions for their team for offensive and defensive player of the week. Big congratulations to Patrick Mahomes and Danny Trevathan for being week 2 offensive and defensive player of the week. If you disagree with Calvin Ridley or Earl Thomas as the selection, let me know down below who your personal picks are. Doesn't have to be anyone we talked about, and we'll tally those up over the week. And on Tuesday, when I post the Week 4 Players of the Week nominees, we'll find out who won for this week. Thank you so much for listening to this edition of NFL Players of the Week on offense and defense. This has been Rob from DRTV. Have a good one, and peace.